If you're watching this late at night, turn your lights on. I'm serious. If you think this is just another school ghost rumor, let me tell you right now, this story is very scary. If you're ready, if you're brave enough, then let's begin. After school detention. It was a Thursday afternoon when Emily, Jordan, and Marcus were assigned detention. Their teacher had to leave early, so the principal told them to stay in room 214 for 1 hour and leave their slips on the desk when they finished. By 5:40 p.m., the sky outside turned dark. Winds scratched against the classroom windows. Marcus joked about the ghost girl rumor, the one students claimed roamed the halls after sunset. Emily rolled her eyes. Jordan laughed, but then the hallway lights flickered. The three froze. Another flicker. Then a long, loud B-Z-Z-Z-Z-T, and the lights snapped off completely. Jordan pulled out his phone flashlight. "That's weird," he whispered. "The school never loses power." But the school wasn't powerless, no. Something else was happening. They stepped into the hallway, sticking close. The air felt colder. Too cold. Marcus rubbed his arms. "Why is it freezing? The AC is off." Emily shivered. "Guys, look." At the far end of the corridor stood the girl. The same outdated uniform, the same lowered head, a shadow that didn't quite touch the floor. Jordan swallowed. "Hello? Do you need help?" The girl lifted her face slowly, and for a moment Emily thought the girl looked normal, but then she saw it. The girl's eyes. One was missing entirely. The other stared straight through them, dark and glossy like wet stone. Emily stumbled back. Jordan's flashlight flickered. The girl whispered, a whisper stretching down the hallway like a breath of ice. "Stay with me." Jordan's phone died instantly. They ran. The locked doors. The front exit locked. The back exit padlocked. Classroom doors slammed shut as if by invisible hands. Emily's voice cracked. "She doesn't want us to leave." A faint tapping echoed behind them. Not footsteps, tapping, like fingernails brushing lockers. Jordan held a trembling finger to his lips. "Don't move." Tap, tap, tap. Then a whisper. "Why did you leave me?" Emily recognized the voice. She had heard it once during a school assembly, when the counselor talked about a girl who vanished years ago. A student who was last seen alone in the hallway after detention. A student who never made it home. Marcus's voice shook. "Guys, is she talking about us or someone else?" The temperature dropped to near freezing. Jordan's breath fogged. "She thinks we're the ones who left her behind." The ghost girl appeared again, this time only a few feet away. Her head tilted at an impossible angle, her smile stretched too wide. "I waited and waited," she hissed. Emily trembled. "We're sorry, we're not them." But the ghost stepped closer. "You left me like they did." Jordan pulled Emily and Marcus into room 109, slamming the door. Inside, every desk was overturned. Papers lay shredded on the floor, as though someone or something had destroyed the room in a rage. The door handle twisted, slowly, quietly, deliberately. Jordan whispered, "She's here." The lights buzzed on for a moment, revealing a chalkboard message written in large, jagged letters. "Stay with me." Then the lights died again. Marcus felt something cold brush his shoulder. Emily heard breathing right beside her ear. Jordan felt a hand grip his wrist. Small, icy, and impossibly strong. The door burst open. The ghost girl stood in the doorway, her single eye wide with grief and rage. "You said you'd walk home with me?" Emily's voice cracked. "We aren't the ones who left you, but we can help you." The ghost hesitated. Her expression trembled. For the first time, she looked less terrifying and more like a lost, broken child. Setting her free, Emily stepped forward slowly. "We won't leave you, but you don't belong here anymore," Jordan whispered, terrified. "Emily, what are you doing?" She ignored him. She reached out her hand, even though the air around the ghost felt freezing, sharp like needles. "You're still waiting," Emily said softly. "But the people who hurt you, they're gone. Let us help you go home." The hallway lights flickered one last time. The ghost girl's face softened. Her smile became small, almost human. "I was scared," she whispered. Emily nodded, tears in her eyes. "I know." The girl took Emily's hand, and for a moment Emily felt a rush of cold wind swirl around her, like a storm of memories. Then the ghost stepped back. Her form shimmered, like a candle flame in the wind, and slowly faded into soft, pale light. The temperature warmed. The hallway lights returned to normal. The exits unlocked with a metallic click. She was gone. Truly gone. Marcus exhaled shakily. Dude, we survived. Jordan half laughed, half cried. We actually saved a ghost. Emily wiped her face. She wasn't trying to hurt us. She was trying to be remembered. They left the school together, this time making sure no one walked home alone. And from that night on, the hallways stayed silent. No whispers, no tapping, no ghostly figure waiting at the end of the corridor. The basement door that never opened. Most students never noticed the basement door near the east stairwell. It was old, scratched, and sealed with a rusty chain. Teachers always said the basement was unsafe and under renovation, but everyone knew that door had never opened. Not in decades. But one Friday afternoon, 4 friends, Lily, Connor, Samantha, and Theo, stayed late after their drama club rehearsal ended. At 6:10 p.m., the school was already noticeably empty. Lily was the first to hear it. A sound. Tap, tap, tap. Not footsteps, knocking. From behind the basement door, she froze. Guys, did you hear that? Connor laughed it off at first, but then the knocking grew louder, more desperate. Tap, tap, tap. Theo stepped closer. Is someone trapped down there? Samantha shook her head. The basement doesn't exist anymore. They sealed it years ago. But the knocking didn't stop. Then something else happened. A voice, soft, muffled, but unmistakably young. Please, help me. Lily's heart dropped. That's a kid's voice. Connor tugged at the chain. It rattled, cold and stiff. We can't leave if someone's trapped. After a moment's hesitation, Theo pulled a small screwdriver from his backpack. He was always fixing props for the drama club, and began prying at the chain lock. At the final twist, the lock snapped open. The door groaned. Dust exploded outward like a breath exhaled after decades of holding still. Behind the door was a long staircase descending into darkness. A cold wind rushed upward, carrying the faint smell of wet concrete and something metallic, like old blood. Samantha whispered, "Guys, we shouldn't go down." But the voice came again, clearer this time, trembling with fear. "Don't leave me down here." And that was enough. Together, the 4 stepped into the dark stairwell. Their phone flashlights barely cut through the blackness. The deeper they went, the colder the air became, sharply cold like winter breath in their lungs. At the bottom was a long hallway of abandoned classrooms, desks overturned, papers decayed, windows boarded shut. Theo whispered, "This place looks untouched." And then they saw her. A girl, maybe 12 or 13, stood at the far end of the hallway, thin, barefoot, wearing an old-fashioned school uniform coated in dust. Her head was lowered, her long hair covered her face. "Hey," Connor called, stepping forward. "Are you hurt?" The girl didn't answer. She simply turned and walked into one of the old classrooms. Something about her movements, too slow, too smooth, made Lily stop in her tracks. Samantha grabbed Lily's hand. "I don't think she's..." Before she could finish, Connor had already followed the girl inside. Theo, Samantha, and Lily rushed in after him. The classroom was empty, completely empty. No girl, no footprints. Just the sound of something softly scratching the walls from every direction. Then behind them, the door slammed shut. Total darkness. Samantha screamed. Theo pounded the door. Lily shone her flashlight wildly around the room. And then she saw it. On the back wall, "Get Out," scratched over and over again, hundreds of times, by fingernails. Right beneath it, fresh scratches appeared as they watched. Something invisible was writing. Connor's voice cracked. "We need to leave. Now." The scratching stopped. The true trap. The room temperature plummeted. Their breaths came out in white puffs. A small voice whispered behind them, "You open the door." They turned. The ghost girl stood only inches away, her hair lifted slightly as if floating, her face pale and sunken. Her eyes, where eyes should have been, were just dark, hollow cavities. She reached toward Lily with shaking, desperate hands. "I didn't want to be alone." Lily backed into Theo. "We're not trying to hurt you." The ghost's expression contorted. Grief, twisting into anger. "You opened the door, you have to stay." Samantha cried out. "We're not staying here." The ghost screamed, a shrill, piercing sound that cracked through the walls. Lights exploded, desks flew upward, the entire room shook violently. The spirit lunged, and for a terrifying moment she passed straight through Connor, leaving him gasping on the floor, ice forming on his eyelashes. Lily finally understood. The ghost wasn't trying to trap them out of cruelty. She was reliving the moment she was locked inside, abandoned by students who fled during an accident decades ago. She doesn't know time has passed, Lily whispered. She still thinks she's alone. The ghost girl flickered, her form unstable, breaking apart with sorrow, setting the lost child free. Lily took a deep breath and stepped toward the trembling spirit. We didn't come to leave you. We came because you asked for help. The ghost stopped. Her hollow eyes lifted. The shaking room fell silent. You're not trapped anymore, Lily whispered. We're here. You're safe, and we'll walk you out. The ghost girl's twisted posture softened. Her hands lowered. The frost in the air melted. For the first time, Lily saw the child behind the horror. Lonely, frightened, forgotten. Lily held out her hand. Let us take you home. The ghost hesitated, then placed her cold, fragile hand in Lily's. A soft glow formed around her. The basement walls brightened as if touched by sunlight for the first time in years. Her voice, now gentle and small, whispered, "Thank you for not leaving me." The lights faded. Her figure dissolved into shimmering dust, floating upward, drifting toward the stairwell like fireflies. Then she was gone. The door unlatched itself. The basement brightened. Warmth returned. Theo whispered, "We actually helped her pass on." Samantha wiped tears from her face. She's finally free. Together, the four friends walked up the basement stairs, the chains falling behind them like the last breath of a long-kept secret. Above them, the school hallways were silent, not with fear but with peace. They never heard knocking again. They never saw the girl again. And to this day, the basement door stays unlocked, not as a warning but as a reminder. Sometimes ghosts don't need fear. They need someone brave enough to listen. A gentle ending to a terrifying journey. A haunting that ended with release, not tragedy. It started on a rainy Tuesday evening long after the final bell had echoed down the halls. The school gym was supposed to be empty, lights off, doors locked. Yet 4 track team members stayed late to finish their practice. Ryan, Tessa, Caleb, and Nora. The storm outside pounded like drum beats against the windows as they ran laps, sweat dripping, shoes tapping against the hardwood floor. At exactly 7:03 p.m. they heard it. A whistle. Soft, sharp, cold. Not from their coach, not from the storm. Just one lonely whistle, as if someone were standing right behind them. Ryan stopped running first. "Guys, did you hear that?" Caleb nodded slowly. "It's the same whistle from the old legend." Nora frowned. "What legend?" Tessa gulped. "The night whistler. Students say a gym teacher died during a late practice years ago. Now he walks the gym after dark, looking for anyone who stayed too late." Before Nora could laugh it off, another whistle echoed, closer this time. "Sweet!" The gym lights flickered, all 4 froze. The storm raged outside, but inside the air turned eerily still. Suddenly the scoreboard at the far end lit up by itself. 0-0 period 0 foul 0, but beneath the zeros, where player names should have been, letters flickered into existence. RYANTESSACALEBNORA. Nora whispered, "Why are our names up there?" Caleb stepped back toward the bleachers. "Okay, that's not funny. Who's doing this?" Then the buzzer sounded. Long, loud, violent. The gym doors slammed shut, locking them inside. The coach with no face. The whistle came again, but this time it wasn't just a sound. A figure appeared at the far end of the gym. Tall, wearing an old-fashioned coach's jacket, shoulders hunched, head down, clutching a metal whistle in one hand. But he had no face, just a blurred, hollow shape where a face should be, like fog, trapped behind skin. Nora screamed. Ryan grabbed everyone. "We're getting out." They ran to the side exit. The push bar wouldn't move. The door felt like it was welded shut. Behind them, the whistle blew again, the sharp cry of it slicing through the storm. The figure stepped closer. Lights above them burst one by one. Pop, pop, pop. Each explosion of sparks, drawing the ghost nearer. Tessa spotted the locker room door. "There, move!" They rushed inside, slamming it shut. The locker room smelled of old sweat and cleaning chemicals. Steam puffed from the vents even though no showers were running. They could hear the ghost pacing outside, every step echoing through the floor. Ryan whispered, "Why is he after us? What does he want?" Caleb swallowed hard. "My brother told me the ghost goes after students who stay past closing time, because the coach used to lock kids in to punish them." Tessa hugged herself. "That's messed up." Then they all froze. Footsteps. Not outside the door, inside the locker room. Nora slowly turned her phone flashlight toward the mirror. The reflection showed a tall shadow standing behind them, even though the real space behind them was empty. The faceless coach stared at them through the mirror, lifting the whistle to where his mouth should have been. Tessa gasped. "He's not in the room, he's in the mirror." Ryan grabbed Nora and Caleb. "Don't look at it." But the ghost's reflection reached out, a long, shadowy arm stretching from the mirror's surface, inch by inch, as if trying to pull them inside. Caleb panicked. "He wants to trap us like he trapped the others." Nora stumbled backward, tears in her eyes. "We're gonna die in here," Ryan shouted over her. "No, spirits stay angry when they're stuck in their pain. We have to show him we're not his prisoners." But the ghost emerged further, its hand now fully outside the mirror, hovering inches from Caleb's shoulder. Tessa screamed, "Do something." The final whistle. Ryan stepped forward, directly between Caleb and the ghost's reaching hand. His voice was firm, shaking but brave. "Coach, we're not here to break rules. We stayed late because we love the sport. We're not trying to escape you, but you're not trapped anymore. You don't have to punish anyone. You can rest now." The ghost froze. The arm stopped reaching. The mirror surface shimmered like rippling water. Tessa added softly, "No one abandoned you. The accident wasn't your fault," Nora whispered. "You don't have to whistle anymore. We hear you." For the first time, the gym fell absolutely silent. Even the storm outside seemed to pause. The faceless coach lowered the whistle. His form flickered, trembled, and then his reflection slowly transformed. The figure became clearer, less distorted, gentler. A face appeared, tired, sad, but finally at peace. He nodded once, a thank you, and then he blew one last whistle, soft, almost like a sigh. The locker room lights brightened. The mirror cleared. The ghost faded into warm white light and vanished completely. The gym doors unlocked with a loud click. The storm eased. The scoreboard went dark. The four friends stepped into the hallway together, shaken but safe, knowing the night whistler would never haunt the gym again. Tessa exhaled. "He just needed someone to talk to." Caleb smiled weakly. "Guess we saved a ghost." Nora nudged Ryan. "You're never staying late again." Ryan laughed. "Not without all of you." They walked out of the school into the calm night air, the whistle gone forever. A terrifying night that ended with freedom, a haunting that turned into peace, and the students were safe, finally and forever. On a cold Wednesday evening, the school science fair group stayed behind to finish their projects. The hallways were empty, echoing with the hum of old fluorescent lights. 4 students, Zara, Ethan, Milo, and Harper, worked inside Lab Room 3, the oldest classroom in the entire science wing. The room always felt strangely cold, even when the heaters ran. Posters peeled from the walls, and the smell of chemicals clung to the air. Zara looked up from her volcano model. "Why is it colder tonight? The vents blowing air like a freezer." Ethan shrugged. "Old building? Probably broken again." But Milo wasn't convinced. "The science wing always creeps me out. They say a teacher disappeared here years ago, just vanished during a late experiment." Harper rolled her eyes. "Stop. Every school has ghost rumors." Yet deep down, all 4 felt the same uneasy tension. At 6:47 p.m., the lights flickered, then flickered again, then went out, just for a second, but long enough for them to see something impossible. A tall figure standing at the back of the room. By the time the lights came on, the figure was gone. Zara's voice cracked. Did any of you?" "Yes," Ethan whispered, staring at the spot. "I saw it too." Suddenly the door slammed shut. Hard. The room shook. Milo rushed to the door, pulling the handle. "It's locked! From the outside!" Then a soft, scraping sound echoed through the classroom, like someone dragging something across the floor. In the corner, A shadow began to stretch up the wall, tall, thin, inhumanly long, as if someone far taller than any teacher stood behind the lab tables. Harper gulped. "Who's there?" A low whisper filled the air, raspy, broken. "Don't leave me alone." Zara froze. "That wasn't one of us, right?" The shadow moved, quickly, silently. It darted across the wall like a streak of ink, stopping behind the tall metal storage cabinet. Ethan grabbed a beaker like it was a weapon. "We should get out now." But the cabinet door burst open with a deafening clang. Inside, where safety equipment should have been, stood a tall shape, its body barely visible, its surface shifting like smoke, trapped in glass. Then its face emerged, or rather, the place where a face should be, a warped, burning silhouette of eyes and mouth, as if it were glowing from inside. The ghost stepped out. Harper screamed. The beakers shattered on their own, glass exploding outward. Tables slid several inches. Papers flew upward like a tornado passing through. The ghost whispered again. "You're here to finish the experiment." Zara clutched her chest. "What experiment? We don't know you." The spirit growled, and the emergency lights turned blood red, illuminating a message scratched into the chalkboard behind them. "Finish what I started." Ethan stepped back. "He thinks we're his students." Milo trembled. "Maybe he doesn't know he's dead." The lab of endless night. The ghost swept its arm across the room, and the entire lab shifted. The windows disappeared. The walls turned black like burnt paper. The room felt endless, stretching far beyond its real size. They were trapped in his version of the lab, the one he died in. Zara whispered. "He's replaying his last moment." A heavy lab table slid toward them, blocking their path. The ghost raised a hand toward an old experiment sheet that appeared on the wall, one none of them had ever seen. Harper squinted. "It's instructions for some chemical reaction?" Milo shook his head. "It's wrong. Dangerous. It would explode." Ethan's eyes widened. "That's how he died. He wants us to finish the experiment that killed him." The ghost glided closer, his face burning brighter with anger. "Complete it." Zara stepped back, trembling. "If we follow his steps, we'll die." The lab began to rumble violently, the ghost's shape pulsing with fury. Harper yelled, "We need to calm him down before he destroys everything." Flasks shattered. The room dimmed further. The spirit reached for them, his hand burning with red light. They were seconds from being caught. Showing the truth? Milo suddenly had an idea. "Zara, hand me your marker." She tossed it. He ran to the chalkboard where the ghost's old formula glowed faintly. Milo rewrote everything, fixing the equations, correcting the chemical ratios, rewriting the entire experiment safely. He stepped away. This is what you wanted. This is how you should have done it." The ghost stopped moving. The burning eyes softened, flickering like a dying ember. Milo lifted his hands gently. "You didn't fail, you just made a mistake. A human mistake. And no student blames you. It wasn't your fault." Harper added softly. "You weren't alone, you never were." Zara whispered. "Let us help you finish it the right way." The ghost turned toward the corrected formula. His warped mouth slowly formed something like a sad smile. Then the red emergency lights flickered into warm yellow. The dark walls of the endless lab peeled away, revealing the normal classroom again. The ghost's shape blurred into a soft white glow. "Thank you for showing me the end." With one final shimmer, he dissolved, leaving only a faint, warm breeze behind, like a sigh of relief. The door unlocked. The lights returned to normal. The lab felt calm, peaceful. Ethan wiped his eyes. "We actually saved him." Harper smiled shakily. He just needed someone to correct his mistake. Zara touched the chalkboard, now blank, and to let him go. The four walked out into the hallway, exhausted but safe, knowing the science wing would never feel cold or haunted again. A terrifying encounter that ended with release, peace, and gratitude. The spirit found freedom, and the students walked away unharmed, forever remembering the night they saved a forgotten soul. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then trust me, there are many more shadows waiting to be explored. So before you go, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon, because I share ghost stories just like this on a regular basis. Don't miss the next one. The Darkness Comes Alive every week, and you'll want to be here when it does.